of CEOs, which are kind of based on or semi-based on real life experiences. Any other part in the show that's based on stuff that you experienced or stuff that you see? And maybe just a follow-up to that question is kind of like the wedding scene, the wedding banquet thing, and then you have the interview up there. Are you saying something about Chinese weddings or something? Because I totally don't quite get the relationship between a wedding and an interview about death.
Oh, you read too much. I think you look at this film as gradually it just becomes stupider and stupider. Yeah. As in, it becomes a commercial thing. We want the big scene with big crowds. They don't make sense anymore. Even the song at the end is, if you look at it carefully, it's just a pop song. It's just a pop song, even though I raise a note so high that it sounds like she's really belting it up. But it's really just a cheap pop song. Sorry. So yeah. So the whole thing about the wedding scene and all that, it's just a lousy excuse to have big crowd scene and all that. I mean, this is why we did it. It's not real not a real commentary on weddings and stuff. What kind of comment would you think it was? That marriage is death? What was the other question? Oh, the scenes based on real life. Yeah, thanks for the question. Most people accuse me of putting the department store scene in there just to get laughs. But it actually happened to me. I actually chased a sales girl around just go near my house, near my apartment. Yeah. And then she did tell me it's not my department. Yeah. It wasn't as funny as that. I was quite angry when it happened. Yeah. So that was based on real life. This question over there.
Does your film in any way try to make a style of Chai Mingliang's film, especially the beginning part where you talk about boring, dialogueless films? Then, Chai Mingliang's films, the later films also, we got a lot of musicals bringing in, and
in whole, right?
Is there any way of, like you're trying to satire his films or criticize his films or otherwise?
I think as someone who wanted to make films, I went through this phase when I want to do a Wong Kar-wai film, I want to do a Zhang Yimou film, I want to do a Cai Mingliang film. I went through that phase. Fortunately, no one gave me the money to do that. But I did go through that phase, and I think I'm just, all this is conjecture, as in, if I tried to imitate Cai Mingliang, I would be a lousy copy of Cai Mingliang. I would not get it because I would just be borrowing his style and and setting the story in KL where I live, and it might not work, because I think Cai Mingliang has a style because he developed it himself and he felt it, and it becomes it's a very personal style. And if I did a Cai Mingliang type of film at that point in time, I would have just been a lousy copy, and I would just borrow the style. Yeah. So actually, it's actually about me. So don't get me into trouble. Yeah.
So, because I don't know Malaysian society and stuff, I'm interested how much this reflects Malaysia and what did you want to express, especially. I mean, it feels like it translates somewhat of Malaysia, but it's a little bit colored, you know what I mean?
I hope your takeout from this would be that Malaysians have a sense of humor, and that's it.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'll try. I'm actually curious how did the public in these international festivals react to your movie, and that is related. What did you want to say about Malaysia to people in some non-Asian countries, and what did you want to say to Malaysians about Malaysia? I mean, what is that? Why the artist has to die, or what was that about?
Okay. This film was actually made for Malaysians, not for people like you. I'm just kidding. So we were lucky we got into international film festivals. We didn't make it for outside of Malaysia, or maybe Singapore, because we're quite close, and I lived here for 6 years before. So we didn't really take into account how people respond to it, and I didn't have anything to say to people outside of Malaysia. For Malaysians, look, I don't make a film to deliver a message. That's my there is something in there that's personal. It's just personal expression. Me just ranting and raving and complaining and saying, oh, it's so hard, 10 years to get someone to give me money to make a film. And then at the same time, what if I make a really terrible film that flops and the financier loses his money, It's hard, but I think I try to go, a bit fair and say, as an artist, I don't know, but as an artist, I could be very indulgent. Why should anyone give me money? Why should someone who has worked very hard to earn the money give me their money to make a film, just for fun? And on the other hand, also, if someone does give you money to make a film, why does he trust you? And you have all these constraints. So it's just me exploring this issue. I don't have any real answers. So I'm not trying to, deliver any messages. But for Malaysians, I really hope it's just they come to see the film and they say, oh yeah, we all went through this, we all go through this. And it's just having everyone together and feeling this sort of, what's the word? Sorry, I lost my English. Empathy, or yeah, whatever, yeah, you know what I mean, right? Yeah. Thanks.
This is a question to the actors. Do you follow strictly to the script? Because I know you are having fun in the show and it's so amusing and funny. Or do you do a lot of improvisation? Would the director allows you to do that? Or you have a lot of feedback or interaction with him and then you come up with something funny along the way? Does that happen?
I think mostly we follow the script, but we also when we do rehearsals, like intonations and there's the Cantonese parts and the English parts. So sometimes when we don't speak it as right as it should be in the script, then Joon would change it slightly, because then the style feels really wrong. So, especially for the Cantonese bits, we actually sit down and change it and rechange it to make the flow much better. Yeah.
Yeah, we're basically just following the script, but when we're doing rehearsals, etc., we'd run through and we'd see if you feel your character is comfortable with the words that are there. And it's just a few little bits here and there, and you just change them so that it's comfortable for you to act it out in that particular way, and also so that the characters sort of throughout the film have the same sort of groupings of words that don't change from this to that. It's just yeah, so it's pretty much just sticking to the script. Yeah.
I just add a footnote to that. Actually, when I was writing the script, I had Jerrica in mind to play Rafflesia Pong, because I worked with her before on a short film. So in a way, I know how she talks. That's why it's written, so there's not much that needed to be changed for her. And I actually rewrote the script for Peter, because originally the guy was supposed to be a Chinese guy. I couldn't find a suitable guy, and I found him, and it turned out to have a British accent. So I said, oh, God. I said, the only way Malaysians are going to accept a British accent lead actor is if I make fun of the accent. And so, yeah, so it started from there. I rewrote, so, he talks to me all the time, so I said, I really can't understand what you're saying. That's actually what I said to him when I first met him. Yeah.
It still happens now.